Hello and welcome to this tutorial. This is going to be a tutorial on Omnisphere and Montage or MODX. So basically the dilemma is this, that sometimes you make very complex multis on Omnisphere, but when you go live to play live, unless you carry your computer, you don't have that same awesome atmosphere, that Omnisphere. Pun intended. So what you need is a lot of times your tracks in your albums end up with mostly Omnisphere, but when you're playing live, if you don't have your computer and you have a Montage or a Nord or whatever, it's not gonna sound the same. You really can't build those sounds. So anyway, I figured out a way to transfer all my Omnisphere stuff into the Montage. And that's what this tutorial is going to be about. Now, for instance, over here I have Omnisphere. I have it on stock mode. This is not an Omnisphere tutorial, but Omnisphere quickly. Basically, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 8 multi, call it tracks per se. You can load 8 sounds at the same time, right? And you can make very complex. You can either put them on stack mode. Let me go to the multi right here. And I'm here in the mixer, you see, so I have a jazz guitar here, my strings, the bass, a weird noise, and another noise. So anyway, by the way, Omnisphere has amazing effects. You have a live thing that you can use, but I usually use stack mode. So what I do is I already mapped to my keyboard what I want to use right here. And this is what this sounds like. Now notice how the weird noises in the back. Let me go to the mixer and I'll show you each track. Okay, so I'm gonna solo this. That's obviously the guitar with the effects. That's what it sounds like. And I'm gonna solo the strings. I have them there in the background. I'm gonna solo the bass. And I'm not gonna sample the bass really, but because I can use a different bass, it doesn't matter. These are the noises that I want. So anyway, I don't know what that one does, but let's leave it. Sorry. So now, this is what the whole patch sounds like. Notice that noises in the back and the strings. So the tune goes something like. Something like that. So let me load it up and I'll show you what it sounds like supposedly. Notice all those noises in the background having a very eerie feeling. Anyway, not gonna play the whole track, but if you want to hear it, you can go to Apple Music, Spotify, or even here in YouTube and just search In a Dream. It's Eddie Garrido, In a Dream, EDDIE. Garrido, in a dream. Or you can find out more about the music on edit-g.com. That's eddie-g.com. Anyway, enough of the shameless advertising. So now this is what I did, and this is how I was able to put it on the montage. Well, I don't have a montage on the MODX. I used to have a montage, but it was kind of heavy, so I changed it for the MODX. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this and open this. No, open that. All right. So this basically what I did is I sampled note by note. The song is in A minor, so I started sampling the bass about 5 seconds, and I sampled each note. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I sampled an A, a D, no. So yeah, I was sampling the every third or so. And then here's the guitar. Then I went for the next one's gonna be an A. That's really what I'm concentrating on. There's that eerie noise. A C, another E, and so on. So I sample all of them. And then, obviously, I had to go and grab each one of them. And what you do is you bounce them. Now you can either go, I'm using Logic, you can either go File, Bounce, Projector Section, there, and then you say okay, and then you name it. And obviously the name has to be for the way I use it. I have to put the name of the note, which this would be like an E3, I believe. E3, and the MIDI note number, which I think is 61, 2, 3, 4, is 64. So it'll be 64. And then I'll just say guitar. And then I'll press bounce. It'll bounce into a folder. You know, you make a folder. And for instance, I already did this, so I won't put you through it. So after you do that, you can go ahead and leave Logic. And I'll say don't save and don't save. All right, so now I go to my desktop where I created that, and I have Omnipatched Edit right there. So if you look at it, here I have my guitar, A6, E6, E6, A5, A5, let's see, E3, E3 was 52. So it's E4, that's 64. So I already mapped it, right? And I have them in this folder. So what you do next is I have this app called Sample Robot. It's not necessarily cheap. it's expensive, but I have the Montage version. So Yamaha gives it out for free. So the thing is that this will, you have a wizard, okay? And the wizard will ask you a bunch of questions. And I will try to speed up the process here. So for instance here, welcome to Sample Robot, and I'll show you how, because the app can be a little confusing. So I'm gonna go next, and then it says, do you want to automatic record MIDI tracks? Well, what happens in MIDI tracks, the instrument, what happens is that this app was originally designed for connecting your MIDI keyboard into it. So what happens is that the app will send a MIDI note to your keyboard, and then it'll record its audio, but it'll do it automatically. Semi-automatic recording would be that you actually play the note, and then that they have a plug-in recording. Now you would say, why didn't you just use the plugin to record Omnisphere? Is Omnisphere, at least my version, is not a VST2. I use the UI, and the VST that I have, it won't open in Sample Robot. So I did it the other way. So anyway, you go next, you name your project, and then you go next, you put your destination, and then you go next, what are you going to record from? And you pick that, and then you go next. And I'm sorry, let me regress. So for instance, here, automatic recording, I'm going to tell you where all that is placed. So my project, you would create your project right here in this little where it says VP Air Drone, right above it, you can create a project right there. It says projects. Okay. Then this part, it's obviously here where you save your files. And then this part, it's right here, audio out, MIDI in, MIDI out. And then right here, you pick your recording, but they'll ask you that when you create the project. And then your MIDI out, it depends on the settings that you're playing, but this is all controlled right here. So it's right here, you control the ins and outs. Right here is where you create the projects, and right here, where it says, that's where your multi-samples will come. So the next, MIDI channel, how many notes? Okay, so here, I have the Montage 61, so I always pick 61, and that can be handled right here on the lower corner. Then next, velocity layers. How many velocity layers? If you are doing something with Aftertouch, this will actually play different velocities according to the sound you're sampling. I only used one because I didn't have a lot of velocity layers on it. Key steps, that means how many keys. Right now I have it at 12, but if you put it at 4, for instance, then you'll just record every third. If you put it at 12, you record every octave. If you put it at 5, you'll record every fourth. Anyway, so then the note length. The length of the note is gonna be here when you're in the multi-samples, but I can't go that right now. So hang on. And then whether it wants to loop the sound or not, auto loop off, auto loop on. I usually have it on. Then next, and finish, right? So let me close this, and let me cancel that. Okay, so for instance, I already sampled it. So basically what you do is you go import audio files, and use file loop. All these pretty much are standard. That's what you want to use. So you go import, and it'll make you browse. So then you go to the desktop, or to find the folder where you have your multi-samples, which I forgot what I called it. It's on the desktop. Bear with me. Omnipatch. See, so there it is. So what you do is you grab these samples and you import them. I'm not gonna do it because I already did it. All right. So since you have this information right here, A3, 57, A4, 69, whatever, Sample Robot will automatically assign the kits for you. All right. Now you can also do this. Let me create a new project. Boom, new project, and I'm just going to call it test. And there it is, test. Now I will show you. You can either test, and you gotta create the multi-samples too. Test, and there it is. And now my import audio files, import. Now watch this. I can just grab all of these guys, open them, import done. Okay, look, I need a signed up for E. They're right there. And there's the eeriness. Now, if you notice here that my note in is already, here are the samples. It already knows, it already trimmed the silence for me. And it hasn't assigned a loop on this particular note, which is this one. Let me grab a less annoying one. So it'll be the A, right here, A3. That's a bass. Let me look for the A4. A4, that one. All right. See, that one needs to be adjusted a little bit right there. All right. It's playing the thing and it's going to end. So what you do right there, it ends abruptly. So you turn loop on and it'll technically select a loop for you. So watch how it goes. It gets right here and it's going to loop. It's not super smooth. Find loop out. See if it finds a better loop point. So that's pretty nice. Or you can adjust it too. And one thing that you can do while you're adjusting these things is that you can basically tell it to play backward and forward. So a lot of times I do that when I can't find a perfect loop. I'll do it like that, because then listen to this. It'll go this way and then it's going to go backwards. And it seems to be nicer. Now, I'm not going to hold the notes that long, but it's nice to have it there. Okay, once you have all your notes, you know, like for instance, this one needs a little trimming right here at the beginning. You loop them all, you have everything like you want it. Then you just go here to import, export project as, and you have the options of Yamaha Montage or user file or user library. Now, this is very important. Do the user library. Now, why is that? Is because the Montage and the MODX, when you load up a user file, it'll erase your user bank. But if you load up a user library, it will not erase your user bank, and you can add that sound to your user bank. I don't know why they make things so complicated in Yamaha, but I mean, whatever. Now, the full version, this is the version that Yamaha gives you, but the full version of Sample Robot will output to Bitwig Studio, to Cakewalk Dimensions, to Soundphone 2, to Steinberg Helion, Apple Logic Pro EX24, which is a great sampler. I've used it a lot. the Giga Studio, Reason, Emulator, um, mo- and Contact. Awesome. It'll output to the Chronos. It'll output to V sampler, vocal sample, Korg micro sampler, sequential Prophet X, and Synstrom Deluge. So I mean, it's a great thing. So anyway, you click on export as Montage X7L. Boom. All right. And then it's going to say 44.1 16-bit stereo. You go okay, and then you put your name that you want and your destination. Okay, so I've already done this, and I will show you what happened. Yeah, I really want to quit. So now when I go to my destination was my desktop and my Omni patches, which you can see it right here. Omni patch Echoes Guitar X7L. Now you're gonna copy this file to your thumb drive that you use in your Montage. Now that thumb drive has to be already formatted for your Montage, but your Mac will read it. So just put it in the drive, copy it to it, drag it over to your. You don't need me to show you, right? Like you just drag it over to whatever thumb drive you have, and you wait till it copies. And now let's go to the Montage, and let's try it out. All right, so I'm here on the Montage, and what I want to do is I want to go to category search, and over here I want to be on in because I want to initialize something empty. I press enter, and now it's something empty right here, and it says no assignment. So I'm gonna open that, click right here, and this is where you edit your category search, etc. But for what we want to do is we want to import the library that we made in Sample Robot. So we hit utility. In utility is the same as if we click, let me go back, it's the same as if we click that little wheel. Let's see the wheel. There it is. Okay. So let's go to, we're here, we go to utility, and then content. Boom. And it's already set to library, but you can change what you want. This is where you back up your files, etc. So library, that's what we want, library. And our destination basically is my thumb drive. That's that. And library, let me close that. And now we're looking for Omni Patch Echoes Guitar. So now I already did this. So you just press that and it'll load it. Okay, so look, let me click it. See, Omni Patch Echoes library will be overwritten. Load. You press load and it'll load it. I already did this, so I'm canceling this. And basically, that's it. This is the result. I already saved. Let me go to category search, and you can enter a search. I'm gonna go Omni. See if it finds it. Please, Omni Patch Echoes Guitar. Now watch how that patch is like dry and everything, right? But there is all the subtleties that I wanted. There's that noise. All right. So I added some effects. I'll show you how to do that. Right here, you can go ahead and you press enter, and to add effects, you press not assigned, edit, effects, and there it is. You have two inserts, so I'm gonna insert blah blah blah, a delay, and tempo delay stereo. So it's kind of let's bring it down to about there. 50 usually is. Alright, so I already worked on a patch by adding my effects, etc. I added bass from the Montage because I didn't use the samples, and this is my resulting file. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my live set, and I have it in my live set right here. Now what I did this is I put two delays. One is gonna be the quicker one right there, and then I have one that's gonna be half a note so that it answers what I do. So if I go, here it comes again. So, and my bass. So now you can also, and I did another video on this, you can also bring your drum loop. So I copied two variations of my drum loop that I use on the real recording, and you can use that with a real drummer or whatever loop you're using. And what you do is you assign it to a note that you're not gonna use, and then you sequence that note to trigger the loop. The way you bring the loop in, I have another video on that, and the way you bring the loop on that is the same way. You bring the loop as a waveform. I have a whole video on that. So anyway, so my loop is right here. So I just press play. It goes to here, and I press play again, and it doesn't work because there it is. Ready? That should be working over there. Oh yeah. Can you feel it? There's my noises. To use a looper, so I'm gonna loop this on my looper, okay? That's the looper playing. I don't know if you can hear it. The looper because I don't know how I wired everything together. And there you have it. I have my whole loop. I added 2 versions of a bass, my Omnisphere sound that I wanted, and I am happy. I hope this was helpful to somebody. So just quickly the steps again. Sample your notes on Logic or whatever DAW you have. Sample what you want, maybe every 4 notes or every 5 notes. That should be enough. Then save each file, each different note, with the note name and the MIDI number and something that you can identify the sound with. Bring it into a folder that's all together, and then import those into Sample Robot. You can either import note by note, or you can do a batch import like I showed in the video. And then after that, you just go ahead and save it to your as a library. It's very important that you save as a library. And then you take it, you copy it to your USB drive. From the USB drive, you bring it into your thing, you load into your MODX, you load it into your MODX or Montage, and then you can further tweak the sound, but at least you'll have what you want. I hope this was helpful. Keep on playing.